Leo, hello there, my beautiful friends. We're going to do your general tarot reading for late May 2026. Thank you so much for joining me today. You know I appreciate each and every single one of you beautiful people out there. So let's get right down to business as always and start you off with an oracle card here, just so we can dip our toes in the energy and see what's happening for the lovely Leo collective. Hope you're all doing fabulous and fantastic, my friends. Let's get it going here. My guide, spirit team, talk to me. What do we got for these lovely Leos in late May? What's the vibe? What's the energy? Let's get this out here. The energy, messages, insights. What can we take a peek at? And yeah, we're just going to take a real quick look at this first card. Then we'll get into the full reading itself. And then at the very end, I'll pull you a bonus card from the Shadowland Tarot just to see what might be in the shadows or what shadow work you can lean into, which is always interesting. But let's get it going here. Let's rock and see what we got for Leo in late May 2026. What's happening here? What's the vibe? And yeah, we're getting very close to Leo season, my good friends. I mean, it's a couple of months away, but I mean, who's counting, right? Let's get another card out. Oh, there we go. All right, ask and you shall receive. This is actually a pretty lay low type of energy, and even the way it fell out of the deck, it was just like super smooth. So I like that because that's something I do when I read too. I judge like how the cards pop out. Like to me, it says something about the vibe. And this one to me, it's beautiful. There's a lovely aesthetic, and there is this like lay low kind of energy, which could actually be great depending on what you're going through. But before we fully dive into that, if you're new here, I'll be speaking about the May subscriber surprise towards the end, so you might want to check that out. And also, if you could kindly illuminate that like button by tapping it right on its third eye, I'd greatly appreciate it. But enough of the promo, back into the reading. Let's talk more in depth about this card. So absolutely gorgeous. If you look over here, we see this lovely lady. She's in a pond. She is surrounded by the swans, and she's kind of dressed up like them too. So she's like blending in with the surroundings. So first and foremost, whenever I see it, it's an energy that's laying low, blending in, not trying to cause any waves. So for a lot of Leos, maybe that's a vibe you're in right now, where it's like, I'm in my lane, doing my thing. I don't want any drama. I don't want any of this. I'm just doing what I got to do. Cool. I like that. And that is an energy that a lot of Leos usually hold. So I think that could be great. Now, yeah, sometimes could it be an avoidant type of energy? Possibly, if you're dealing with any situation where someone's like dodging and weaving and avoiding, this card could come out sometimes. But to me, it's just like letting things flow. There's a nice ease and a flow to this. Now, the other message I always pull with this card is aesthetics. So whenever I see a beautiful card that just like appeals to me aesthetically, it says like, hey, maybe there's something you're doing about your look. Maybe you're paying extra close attention to how you present yourself to the world, changing something about your look or your wardrobe when this is here. Now might be a good time to do that when this card pops up. So it's beautiful, it's confident, but at the same time, it's just in its own lane. The only thing I'd watch out for is like avoiding something too much, right? So we're just going to put her down right there. Let's get into tarot. And yeah, I always say that first card, it doesn't make or break the reading. It's just a little footnote. So let's get you 3 tarot cards in the upright. Then we'll get into the juicy, intuitive stuff. Shuffle it up one time here for the lovely Leos. And while we get this deck shuffled up and ready to go, let's talk about last week's reading. So it was centered around communication last week. The reading was titled The Serious Talk. Now, normally when I get that type of messaging, it represents either a serious talk that has been had or might need to be had, whether it's a topic that is serious or something you just need to get off your chest. So just know that energy could bleed over for a couple weeks. If there's certain things that you feel like need to be addressed, that's the vibe I was picking up last week. But we're going to see what shows up this week. As you know, energy is very fluid, never set in stone. So only take this how it hits for you, because we could be seeing your vibe or somebody else, right? Let's get it going. 3 cards here for the lovely Leos in late May. What's the vibe here, my God? So, cool. Temperance. So yeah, more of this chill type of energy, right? Like with her, now we have temperance right here in the front. I mean, that is a pretty good energy. I love the spiritual protection that I always feel whenever temperance shows up. Let's get a couple more. We got, whoa, okay, little vibe switch, but I think it could be okay. Lots and lots of angels. Tons of angelic energy here, Leo. More so than usual, that's for sure. And you also got the beautiful 3 of Cups. This could be other people's energy for sure, but it can also be celebratory. So this could be really nice. I'm feeling cautiously optimistic about the spread so far. Let's go through. I'll give you some of the classical meanings and archetypes. Then we'll get into that juicy intuitive stuff. But at first glance, you know me, I always love to look at the elements. We have a nice little mixture going on here. I feel like it frames the reading and tells us how things are going to flow. So we have fire, water, and I give judgment like Plutonian, scorpionic type of energy. So I guess we could call it water, but to me, I kind of separate it. It's not like our classic earthly elements. So we're going to say fire and water are the predominant. Now, when it comes to the fire, that is your power element. That's your comfort zone. Fire is the realm of action. So whether it's the actions we take, the actions other people take, the actions that we want to take, that's all encompassed here. Normally, it is a fired up, high energy type of flow. So I think it could be great. It does tie into your energy levels. It could tie into health and wellness as well. So that's something to keep an eye on when we have fire. The only downside to fire is that it could gear shift really quick, or it could become explosive or volatile. And that's something we need to watch out for when going from temperance to judgment. These are two totally different extreme vibes. Now, here on the back end, the water, matters of the heart, matters of emotion, things that we care about. I always say it could be situations or people that we're emotionally invested in. Cups and water also represent partnerships. It could be very creative and imaginative. So, any sort of creative outlet is highly, highly favored when we have a lot of water here. But what might be the downside to such a smooth flowing energy is the fact that it could sometimes overwhelm us. And I think, especially when we get to this back end, that's something we should watch out for is any sort of overwhelm. But let's go through and start building this out piece by piece. Position number one, we have Temperance. Archangel Michael chilling right there, the first of two angels in the main part of the spread. Big Sagittarius vibes. If you're connected to a Saggy or have Saggy placements, here it goes right here. Now, I love Temperance, aside from the spiritual protection, which this shows up heavily. So whether it's guides, angels, spirit team, you name it, there's like a protective insulation around you, which I think is great whenever Temperance shows up. It's calm, it's patient, it's letting things flow, right? Like we see Michael here, he's not making much action, he's pouring water from cup to cup, and that does sort of symbolize internal alchemy, where it's like there's not much happening on the surface, but underneath the surface, everything's moving, everything's changing. So I do normally like this. Sometimes temperance can show up when there's certain things or habits that we're trying to quit. It could show up when there's certain things that we're trying to refrain from. This is a huge card of spirit saying like patience, patience, slow and steady. Now, what might be the downside to such an energy? As I already mentioned, not much on the surface, but underneath the surface, there's something bubbling, and we want to watch out for that. And sometimes temperance can represent impatience if it's flipped in reverse. Now, moving to the center, we have another angelic energy that presents totally, totally different. We have judgment, boom, the archangel Gabriel shows up here. This is the communicator of God, right? So this does show heavily when it comes to communication. The big overarching theme, since it is transformation and plutonium based, I always say judgment to me represents change, transformation, metamorphosis, and big ones. But this is a quick moving, explosive type of energy, right? Whereas temperance is slow and steady. When we have Archangel Gabriel right here, this is like boom, everything all at once. So it's like we go from slow, steady, meticulous, something bubbling under the surface, to tidal wave, everything all at once. That's what we need to watch out for. So whether it's like very big change or rapid change or a shift in energy, this can be it. Sometimes judgment shows up for literal decisions and judgments as well. So that's something to watch out for. Hopefully you're not feeling like someone's judging you. Um, Sometimes it could represent an energy that loops back. I'm not going to walk down that road too much. That's a theme I've been seeing for a lot of signs, where sometimes judgment like pops back up and cycles back. So we'll just see. But again, we go from slow to extremely powerful in like the blink of an eye. And that can be good, especially when we get to the back end here. We have the Three of Cups. Absolutely love it. Now, I know this card does get a bit of a bad reputation. You know, threes do represent other people. Sometimes they can represent group dynamics, third party things. We're not going to fully walk down that road. But when I see the Three of Cups, I think of joyousness, happiness, merriment, celebrating. So to me, it's a win or a victory of some kind, or just something going your way. I think it's great. So this card can also represent reuniting or coming together with people. So it's very social. So if that's something you've been wanting, or even avoiding, like this is something that can represent social or group circle around us that we want to look at. Now, the downside to the Three of Cups is that sometimes it can represent an energy of overindulgence, where it's like, oh, ate a little too much, or oh, ooh, I went a little too far. So that's what we want to watch out for when we go from this really chill energy to boom, this explosive shift of some kind, and then into this, because it could be very much overwhelmed or overindulgent, depending. But it could also be really great. There could be something that shifts in your direction. So I want to dive deeper in all of it, Leo. Let's do it. Let's jump in and clarify. Okay. Let's get a good shuffle here for the lovely Leos. And yeah, this is where I go intuitive with the message, which means I just tell you how it feels to me. So feel free to do further research or rely on your base knowledge of tarot, because as you know, every single reading is about the reader's interpretation, and I'm just giving you mine. Let's go in on Temperance here. Let's see what that has. And yeah, if you're a reader yourself, please feel free to play along. That's why the box is here. If you're feeling any messages you want to give to Leo, you could drop it in the comments. I don't mind at all. Okay, why is Archangel Michael in the mix? Thank you. Cool. All right. Yeah, I mean, Tower in reverse, it's like trying to delay something. That's just how it feels to me, especially like with Judgment here. Judgment and the Tower do have a very similar core energy. They're both Plutonian, they're both Scorpionic. Tower in reverse is the best way we want to receive this card, that's for sure. So I can say for some Leos, especially if you've gone through anything very difficult, if you've been through any recent Towers or not even recent, when I see Temperance with the Tower in reverse, this could represent either healing that, like working through it. I'm healing through this tower, working through it. That's a good thing. For a lot of you, this is absolutely spirit, like shielding you from something. So keep that in mind. For a lot of Leos, there might be an extra layer of protection where Spirit's trying to shield you from this tower. But at the same time, the first thing that popped into my head with Temperance and the tower, especially with that energy bubbling underneath the surface, is like, all right, I'm trying to avoid this, or I'm trying to delay this or push it back. So whether it is a talk, whether it's a situation, whether it's something where it's like, I know I have to handle it eventually, that's, I don't want to say it's delaying the inevitable, but when I see Temperance with the tower, it's like, I need a little more time. I need a little more time here. Now the energy does come in. We're going to see, especially with how it works out. But it's like an energy that's kind of kicking the can down the road or delaying something, if that makes sense. I love the spiritual protection aspect. That's all over the place here. I love the healing aspect as well, especially if you've had recent towers. But to me, there is also this little touch of avoidance happening. So we're going to keep moving. We're just going to put that tower down right there and see how the energy shifts as we move along. But let's go in on Judgment. So yeah, Scorpio energy, Saggy energy, it's all over here. So let's see what Judgment has. Let's see when this energy finally lets loose, because that's like another thing. It's like a dam, right? It's like I'm holding it back, holding it back. Let's see what happens when it lets loose. So let's go in on Judgment here. Why is Judgment here for Leo, please? Thank you. I mean, this is a really, really strong shift of energy. All right, so we have Six of Wands in reverse. The reason I think this hits different in a Leo reading is because this is a card that astrologically ties into the Leo collective. The Six of Wands, normally it's a card of victory. It's a card of attention. It's a very magnetic card as well. But when I see it in reverse, it's like something I'm not watching, or it's like once I finally stop watching it, that's when it shifts. So there could be a situation where I'm not saying you need to ignore it. I'm not saying that you shouldn't watch it, but it's like when I'm not expecting it, when it's not in my vision, when I'm not waiting for it, that's when the change comes for something, right? Because like we have this delaying, oh, no, maybe not. And then boom, all this powerful fiery energy just kind of lets loose. Now, the Six of Wands, aside from it being a very victorious card, very similar to the Three of Cups, aside from notoriety and attention and all that good stuff, to me, it's a card of observing, right? It's either a card that's either giving a lot of attention or receiving it. So to me, in reverse, underneath Judgment, it's like, all right, well, when I'm not looking at it, that's when it happens. You ever hear the phrase like a watched pot never boils or something like that? Or like the more you watch it, the longer it takes. So there could be a big shift or a really powerful, massive change building up where it's like, all right, well, the second you stop placing so much attention on it, and boom, this energy shifts, like surprisingly even, because we're not looking at it. So it could be a surprising or unexpected change as well. So just watch out for that. I don't feel like it's necessarily a bad one, but it kind of just comes when I'm not watching it or I'm not paying attention to it. And again, for some of you, that could be advice. For some of you, that could be how something went down, where it's like, oh yeah, I took my eye off of it for like 1 minute and boom, the energy shifted. Let's go in on the Three of Cups. So very powerful or surprising change or unexpected one. So let's see what the Three of Cups has, and we'll do a quick little recap before we get into the shadow. So why is the Three of Cups here for the lovely Leos? What's happening for my good friends, please? Thank you. Cool. Yeah, boom, there it is. Beautiful. Beautiful. So we have the lovely Wheel of Fortune. This is another energy that fits the bill Very powerful, very karmic energy, universal type of energy as well. It's like big picture stuff. Now, I always say when it comes to the Wheel of Fortune, that is my four-leaf clover of the tarot deck. It's very lucky. So this could represent right place, right time, meeting the right person at the right time. Divine timing could be a very big thing here as well. But this is also a card of very rapid, sudden change, right? But it actually feels really good. And I know sometimes change, it's the name of the game in this life. Everything changes over time, but sometimes it's more rapid and quicker than usual. And sometimes change could be very uncomfortable. But this seems to work out in the end. It does, where it's like when I look back in retrospect, and now I know why that happened the way it did. This is very good, especially with the Three Cups. So not only do we have like this surprising or unexpected change, we also have the winner victory in the end, where it's like, all right, I didn't know it was going to work out this well. Could have never predicted it was going to go this well. So there's like great energetic potential. The only downside to all of it really is the intensity at which it moves, because there's a lot of intense energy here, which is funny because we started off so smooth, right? Like with that Oracle card and Archangel Michael. Now it just intensifies. Let's go through and do a quick recap, then we'll get into the shadow. I like your reading this week. I really do. If you kindly look in the box here, position number 1, we got the Archangel Michael with the tower in reverse. Now, this could be healing through a tower that you've already gone through. I also get a little bit of an avoidance where it's like, oh, I'll get back to that, or oh, let me delay this. So there could be certain things that you might be pushing down the road. Tons of spiritual protection where it's like you're safe, we're with you. So that's great. Moving to the middle, we have the surprising or unexpected shift or change when we have judgment with the Six of Wands in reverse, where it's like the less I look at it, the better. Or when I'm not paying attention to something, that's when it does what it was going to do the whole time. So I think that could be very good, especially when we get here to the back end. We have the Three of Cups, Wheel of Fortune. Now, even if we were to go a little more challenging with this and say like, oh, this looked like a loss, this could be a win in the end, there could absolutely be something where you might feel like it's a loss, but in the end, it actually turns into a win. That's how this feels. It goes from loss to win, coming out on top. The Three of Cups with the Wheel of Fortune is beautiful. It does have that very sudden change type of energy, but now we're tying it into the unexpected or surprising win. Beautiful stuff. So please take a screenshot if you want to look into it further. Let's see what's in the shadows. Okay, let's get a good shuffle here. And yeah, I always like to pull a shadow card at the very end just to see whether it's something within you or something you don't quite see. Shadow cards don't always have to be a challenge. They could be a good thing too. So let's get you one. And yeah, if you've made it to this point in the reading, please feel free to check out channel memberships. I'll put a link for it in the comments below. It's a beautiful way to support the channel. I have much love for all my channel members. All right, let's get this going here. What do we got for the lovely Leos in the shadows? What do we got for our good friends? There we go. Strength, yeah, one of your power cards. So another angelic card, by the way. So you have a lot of angelic energy floating around you. Now, strength to me, in its positive sense, represents someone's character, who they are on their inside, their staying power, right? Their character, their core person, the core of themselves. And usually it's great. And aside from it representing you, which it is a huge Leo card because usually it's depicted with a lion, to me it's like I can get through anything. It's an energy that has a ton of staying power. That's what I really like. But the shadow side of it, sometimes it can represent either something that we are resisting, we are purposely trying to resist or purposely not letting go of. That's a big thing with strength. Or this is sometimes an energy that can cave in on something, where if there's something I've been refraining from, if there's something I've been holding back from, the strength card in its shadow sense can give up and say, you know what, I'm not holding back anymore. Boop, the energy just starts to flow, which is similar to what we saw within the reading itself, right? Where it's like when I stop feeding energy into something, that's when it breaks through. But yeah, just keep an eye on this. This energy doesn't have to be a bad thing. It could be good for restraint and staying power. But sometimes it could absolutely hold on to things for too long or give up too quick. So please, you can look into that further if you want. Don't click away just yet, though. I'm going to give you the details of the May subscriber surprise. If you would like further insight on your situation or you'd like to have a chat with me, you can book a personal session at my website, mastermetaphysics.com. My May calendar is up and the spots go quick, so you might want to check it out. But for the May subscriber surprise, we're doing another winner's choice. I will choose 3 lucky subscribers to win either a copy of the Tarot of the Owls, beautiful deck, and it's really nice, or 3 custom made pendants from my website, mastermetaphysics.com. So if you'd like to get your name in for that, it's 2 simple things, as always, my friends. First, you must be subscribed. And second, let me know down in the comments, out of the cards that showed up in this week's reading, which one caught your attention most or resonated with you most. You'll be entered to win, and at the end of the month, the winners will be announced in the posts tab. My friends, much love, and I'll talk to you soon.